What's up, everyone? Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and I really hope that we went live before the intro played because I had this awesome thing happen where I realized I didn't have the right background. So we were still in our live react background, which means our intro wouldn't play. So while we were going live, I hit the X button. I was like, stop, and then switched. But then it asked me if I wanted to keep streaming. So I don't know exactly when we went live. I don't know how much you heard. Maybe you heard me say, shit. But we are here. This is Shared Save, your weekly gaming discussion podcast for Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin. And on today's episode, we're going to talk all about the PlayStation State of Play and Xbox's Tokyo Game Show. And Sokina says, hi, didn't see an intro. Do you guys, do you want to see the intro?
Roll.
That's the intro.
There is. It was.
Oh my god. Oh, if you can't tell, I'm on some energy today. All right. I've been up since 4:20 a.m. in the morning. I've had an awful day at work, and I'm coming in a train wreck. But Sam Heaney, my co-host, how are you doing, my friend?
Equally derailed. Yeah, just quite tired this week. For not really any particular reason. You know, I was, for the State of Play React, I was sort of feeling very relaxed and energized, and I think I still am, but maybe the settling back into work has kind of jolted me the opposite way a little bit. But no, overall, pretty good.
Our channel, for some reason, says we are doing a PlayStation State of Play live react.
Excellent.
As well as this one. So if someone can confirm that the stream is working correctly, I would appreciate it. Yes, I didn't make the intro. Okay, we had top men make the intro. So can it, Sam? I'm sorry to hear you're still tired. Even though you just had a vacation. How was your break? You had a good break? Had a good little...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything, which is completely abnormal for me. So I forced relaxation, which was nice.
I also had a nice 4-day weekend. I played a lot of video games, which we will talk about shortly. But why don't I get through the housekeeping? This is Shared Save, a gaming discussion podcast. We are live every Thursday right here on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia. If you can't catch us live, we post every Sunday on public audio feeds. While you're over there, please drop us that 5-star review. It does help us in those algorithms. If you want to support us even further and get early audio access to all of our content, exclusive bonus content like a monthly Q&A, and the exclusive Patreon Shared Save episode we will be recording probably this weekend sometime. Head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current supporters. So thank you to Savoy Prime, Sam Hall, Todd Oxtra, Alpaca Tom, Rick Davis, Silknet, Dave Harp, David Hotright, Lillian, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Marcus O'Neill, Brendan Myers, aka the Winter Gamer, Nikolai at Night, Fabulous Brianna's mom, Brandon, and Black Wyver. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you are a patron, you can also write into the weekly topic submission thread that goes live every Wednesday. I pick one topic from the show, gets to be our third topic. None of you wrote in this week, all right? So we only have 2 topics. That's on you. I'm putting you on blast, all right? If you want us to do your topic for the exclusive Patreon episode, go over there, drop it on this thread before I delete it in a few hours, all right? This is your call to arms. If you're listening on public feeds, it's too late. You missed your chance. It's done. All right, you had your chance.
He's on the warpath.
I know. Sam, why don't we jump into what have we been playing?
I didn't even open the document this week because there's not really much for me to talk about. The only thing I've been playing is Borderlands 4. So I've just been absorbing into that. Obviously, I wasn't playing anything of my vacation at all, which was again strange. And technically I'm playing something for review currently, so there will be a video, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in the coming weeks, so look forward to that, but obviously can't speak about that just yet. So yeah, just Borderlands 4, still loving it. I think I said the other week that I'd rolled credits or was close to finishing the campaign. I've done that, so I'm just grinding everything out. Going to go for the platinum, obviously. So just trying a max level, but just trying to clear out the map, do all the side quests, stuff like that. So having a great time.
Yeah, I know Kyle, who in our Discord has also been playing, and my brother. He got the 100% Steam achievements. I think it took him like 80 hours or so, six. I don't know. It was some crazy high number.
I think I'm
of hours.
around 60 hours
Maybe it
currently.
was 60. I can't remember what exactly it was, but he did that, and I guess the patches just have been messing up that game left and right on PC. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be this hard, man. It shouldn't be this hard to put out a game that is good by all accounts, and then you just keep messing up performance.
I mean, Randy Pitchford should cast some of those magic spells that he's talking about all the time, make his game work.
Randy Pitchford is a weird dude.
I mean, yeah, money will do that to you.
Well, I'm glad you're still enjoying Borderlands 4. I am not playing anything for review currently. I can talk about what I have played and what I have beaten since last week. And that is The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, first chapter, the remake of this, I want to say 20-year-old, 30-year-old game at this point. I don't remember how long it's been since it originally came out. Obviously been on the PSP, was released on PC with some enhancements. This is a full-blown 3D remake. Has new voice acting, new a little bit of new content, nothing like substantial. Like the main story is still the main story. Like all the beats you're familiar with are still the beats. I've beaten the game. I basically no-lifed it. I went very hard on it this weekend. It was my mental health break, and I absolutely loved it. I like the original game. It's not my favorite in the Trails games, and that's because this is very much I want to say it's like a setup game. And what I mean by that is it introduces you to characters, introduces you to the world, the lore, the backstory, but the actual like gameplay, what you're doing is very simplistic. This is not a metaphor or a persona where you start out like low stakes and then eventually end up fighting God, right? Like that is not the case here. This is you start out as two step siblings who go on an adventure to become like bracers, which are kind of like citizen police officers, right? And then it's about their journey, like who they meet along the way. They go to different areas on this continent and just solve some crimes. And then by the end of it, you start to build towards something bigger in the grand scheme of like the world. But this is very like you should be interested in things like politics, like the inner workings of countries intermingling in something like war, and that is what I really like about this. Is like it just feels so, I don't want to say realistic, but like it does bring something that other JRPGs don't. It's not as simple as, oh, they're good, they're evil. It's very complex dynamics between characters, between countries in this overall content. And it speaks to me. The combat is much improved. It mixes in the action gameplay with turn-based, kind of what you've seen in things like Metaphor, Trails Through Daybreak, but it takes a step farther. Like the action combat here is much more fleshed out than something like Metaphor. So I loved it. I think this is now the definitive way to play Trails in the Sky for anyone getting into it. The ending, I won't spoil anything, still absolute cinema. I might even love it more than, yes, that was my reaction, because I was like, okay, they got to nail the ending. They got to give me the same emotional reaction I've had watching the 2D sprites, okay, which it shouldn't be a tough task in 3D. They absolutely knocked it out of the park. Cannot wait for the next remake, because this is already leaked online, so I'm not really spoiling anything. This literally leaked the morning that the game came out, and I was like, why would you post this on the internet? Like, why is everyone sharing this? After you beat the game, there's a trailer for Sky second chapter remake.
Oh,
So I assume that's coming next year, because Falcom loves asset flip. Like, they're basically going to reuse most of the assets from this game. Like you go to the same locations and stuff. So I can't imagine that's not coming next year. But don't watch the trailer if you have any interest, because I think personally spoils not only this game but a lot of the second game. So just avoid that if you can. I don't know if they'll show it at some showcases, but yeah, I'm really happy with this remake, and I hope it seems to be selling well. So I hope this is people's intro into the Trail series.
Awesome, man. Glad to hear it.
All right, well, that's all I've been playing. I do have a Pac-Man World 2 repack on deck for after this podcast. Actually, I just got my code, so I'll be booting that up and having a good old time. Hopefully, I like the first one, so you'll hear about that next week. And the games just keep coming. You know, I there's like a small game coming out next week. I think got reviews today, but like, you know, yeah.
Keeper's not out next week.
No. All right. Well, Sam, you want to jump into your topic for the week?
Yeah, just a little thing called a PlayStation State of Play happened. There is a live react that we did available on the channel. And for people that weren't there, just I guess before we go into the announcements chronologically, top level thoughts from you. I know we talked about it right at the end. What are you thinking now that you've had some time to dwell on it?
So it's an interesting one because I've gone and watched other people's live reactions, as I do after these things. I want to see, like, am I in the minority? What's other people thinking? So I've watched our friends and some other content creators that I enjoy. And a consistent theme is that everyone kind of is feeling the same way about it, which isn't often the case in my experience from the State of Play. Like the last one, I thought, not this one, but the last one before this one, I thought was like the best one they've ever done. And then I saw mixed reactions to that. This one, I think the consistent message I'm seeing is Saros, great. Wolverine, great. Everything in between this first party sandwich is meh at best. It seems to be they bookend the two ends, fantastic, but everything else they probably could have done in a blog post, and that's kind of how I'm feeling still. More so, like there was nothing rewatching it that I'm like, nothing here really grabbed me. Nothing really was like a surprise. I'm really happy with what we saw from Wolverine, and we'll get into that more, and even things like Saros. But I could have used one or two more heavy hitters, even like if you threw a God of War 2.5D, and I think that's maybe the biggest omission for me for this State of Play, because that was rumored to be here. If you throw that in the middle of this 35-minute presentation, I think my tone is completely different. I think I'm raising this from like a B- to like an A-, maybe like a whole letter grade. I think it jumps up into a really good showcase. But for me, I think it was a middling showing, even with the big heavy hitters.
Yeah, that is the general sentiment. I think, I mean, I guess I'm playing into the stereotype here. I would say it's like an A for me. I think like the thing that would elevate it to like an S would have been, I agree, God of War. It seems strange, like we said, that there was the controller there for the 20th anniversary, but not even like a tease of a God of War thing, if not a full reveal. So that's odd. I would hope that it's imminent. But I guess I don't disagree with the sentiment that it started strong, ended strong, and everything in the middle was sort of like, eh. But we got a lot of dates for things, which is cool. And I think that we talk about this a lot, where like the state of plays over the past 2 years have sort of ended with a first party thing, either from a first party PlayStation studio or published. And that's cool, but we kind of want more first party talking. And that is what we got. Like we got more first party talking here than we have for quite a while, frankly. And I would love to see something else in addition. But you assume that's coming at Game Awards. So I think that, and again, I'm biased because like Saros is hard carrying for me. So I put it like an A. I don't think it's the best state of play they've done. I would say that
Hmm.
in terms of pacing, especially the prior state of play with
Marvel
yeah,
Tokon
Marvel
and
Togon.
Pragmata,
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
think
that.
pacing wise, that one was like pitch perfect. I would say more games here. So obviously because of Cyrus and Wolverine interested me. But I think we got to get a Goldilocks where the pacing and the game shown are just right. And I don't think they've
Hmm.
quite nailed that yet. So speaking of games, Kev,
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm
let's run
excited.
down.
I'm excited because there's stuff to talk about here, even
There
if it's not
is.
all for me.
There is indeed. So we started off with aforementioned Saros from Housemarque, follow up to Returnal, releasing March 20th of next year. We got about 5 minutes of gameplay. Didn't seem like 5 minutes, but they said it was 5 minutes, so I'm going to trust them, I guess.
It did go by fast.
It did. It did. And I think they might have like technically counted the when the dev was on the screen as well as part of the 5 minutes, which that's a bit shady to me, but whatever. What do you think?
So the more I've actually gone and back and watched this, the more impressed I am with it. Like I said, I tried Returnal a little bit. I think I put like an hour or two into a co-op with Taylor, and maybe that's something like, do I over the holiday, like December time, boot it up and try again, even though the roguelite elements kind of aren't for me. But if like the gameplay felt solid, the movement was fantastic. And this seems to be continuing on that trend. Everything here I saw was, this is Returnal 2 in all but name.
Yep.
And I think more so than just this is Returnal 2, it seems to be more accessible, like a more inviting Returnal 2. I do wonder why they're not calling it Returnal 2. Like Saros, I think, I don't know if that has the marketing appeal, like that name in general, right? If people see that in the game store, are they going to be drawn to that? I think the naming is a little strange, especially with Returnal kind of being one of the standouts of the PS5 generation for people so far. That aside, though, like the fact that they've added some sort of shield that like can absorb energy and make your attacks more powerful, the second wind type mechanic that they're adding, which allows you to die and then continue on without having to restart. I imagine they will have things they've implemented like the suspend feature for runs, all the quality of life improvement stuff that Returnal got right off the bat here. So I think they've set themselves up really well. I think the biomes look much more diverse. Like I was really impressed with the color scheme I was seeing in Saros compared to something like Returnal, where Returnal is a lot of blue and greens from what I've seen, and this had was very orange in parts, but they had a lot more colors coming in the further you went, different types of landscapes going on. So I was really impressed with it. I don't like, it's not a day one for me just because I am on a gaming budget, saving up for life. But this is something I can see myself, like if it comes to PlayStation Plus or something along those lines. Like if I need ask for a gift for a birthday or Christmas or something, I could see this one. Like if there's nothing else around, like hey, yeah, I would like to try this. I think it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to say too much. It's pretty clear what my thoughts are going to be. It was my most anticipated game, and it remains that way. It's just sort of made the wait, even though it's not that long of a wait, all things considered,
Mm-hmm.
pretty painful. I can't tell you the amount of times I've watched the trailer. I will say though, like, I understand. I think overall it's gotten good reception. I understand why it's not necessarily been like super hot, especially I guess overshadowed by Wolverine, no doubt. But I would say that anytime that Returnal was shown prior to launch, it didn't really show all that well.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more a feel, hand on sticks kind of game. And I know that that's kind of a cop out,
Well,
but
I think you could say that about most of Housemarque's games, right?
precisely,
Like that, they're a gameplay first studio. They're not a story. Like the story will be there for Saros and as it was for Returnal, but this is really about like, we're going to give you top of the art third person bullet hell style shooting combat. Like that is what you go to these games for, and from what I'm seeing, they're going to excel at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are masters of the craft, and they sort of tackling a niche in the roguelike third-person shooter space at a AAA level now that nobody else really is doing, or certainly not at this quality level, I would say. So I'm very, very excited. I understand why they didn't call it Returnal 2. I for to avoid spoilers for people that would be interested, maybe in light of this, going back and playing Returnal, it is quite a self-enclosed thing. It's not really a franchisable IP.
Okay.
I think it could have worked if Returnal was like Returnal semicolon subtitle
Yeah, like
for
this
like
is
Celine's story.
yeah, this is gonna be Celine's story. This will be I can't remember the name of this main character.
Arjun, I think, or something. I think that's where it could have worked and might retrospectively have been a better idea. But I think that's why they just decided to call it something else, even though it is essentially, like you say, just Returnal 2, like down to some of the sound effects, they are identical. So yeah, very, very excited.
Yeah. And I think March 20th seems like a good date. I wasn't expecting to get a date. You were pretty confident it was going to be dropping in February, but little bit longer. But it's a good to get out before GTA. March is a good window. Right now isn't too crowded, I don't think. Well, no, because we have other things that are going to be talking about in this. So retract that last statement. It wasn't crowded until the state of play.
And it's only going to get worse, let's be honest. Next up, we have Zero Parades from Zaum. I said this in the live react. I wish I loved Disco Elysium more than I do.
Yeah.
It looks cool, like aesthetically, in the exact same way that Disco Elysium did, but I can't say that I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, I like the art style more than Disco Elysium. Like, seems like an evolution of Disco Elysium's art style. But like, from my understanding, is a lot of the writers and developers are no longer at that studio. So whether it hits the quality bar that Disco Elysium did remains to be seen. And I'm not a CRPG guy anyway, so like this isn't really speaking to me. This isn't like I hope it does well. All the best to him, but this was one like I feel like we just saw this and this didn't add anything to what we just saw.
Yep, agreed. Next up, what a shocker! Another Xbox port. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 arrives on PlayStation 5 on December 8th of this year.
I want to ask you a question
Okay.
before you. Do you think that it is strange that Xbox has finally broken the barrier of hey, we're gonna put a port on another competitor's showcase? Because we've seen them at Nintendo's directs, but that was after they had already announced they were like we knew Grounded was coming, we knew Pentiment was coming, and then Nintendo just marketed them after the announcements. This was the announcement. And I felt it was strange for Xbox not to lead the charge at Tokyo Game Show and announce, hey, it's coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being pragmatic, this is the right venue to do it, to announce a port, because you are specifically speaking to the audience that you're trying to sell the port to. Whereas, if you announce it on neutral ground at a Nintendo Direct and say it's also coming to PS5, or you announce it at an Xbox event and say it's also coming to PS5, you aren't necessarily going to capture the hardcore, because they would be tuning into their own platforms events, not necessarily others. But it is still weird. I guess
I just think it's strange that Gears of War gets a blog post and Microsoft Flight Simulator gets a full-blown 3-minute trailer or whatever it was in
it
the
is.
state of play.
Yeah, that is the strange thing, because I would have said, like in the Gears of War situation, if it wasn't a blog post and it was an announcement at like an Xbox event or whatever, I would have said, well, that kind of makes sense because you're still technically giving something to the Xbox audience at the same time. Whereas this is just straight up a port solely for PlayStation. So I think it makes sense to hand it off, but I can't say I would have expected them to do it. I think it's the right move,
Well,
and they are sort of
I think it now sets, I want to say a precedent, but it now does,
that's
like, it's opened the gates where we can now go into Nintendo Directs and state of plays and feel like we might guess it. Like, but we've been hoping. Like, I know the Switch 2 Direct, we were like, oh, is this where they show off like Gears of War Reloaded and more ports coming over? But like, now that's a reasonable expectation. I think we don't
yeah.
have to wait for Xbox to say something on a blog. We don't have to wait for an Xbox showcase and then look for a PS5 trailer at the end. We don't have to wait for Jeff Keighley to have like one more thing. It's coming to PS5, right? Like, I feel like Xbox is kind of thrown open the doors.
Yeah.
I'm happy people get to play Flight Sim. I have no interest in the game, but it is a quality game from all intents and purposes.
And PSVR 2 support in the works. So
nobody really cares about that. But
what? There are dozens of us, Kev. I promise you. Maybe, you know. But I mean, I said in the Discord, there's a £200 version of Flight Simulator on PSN.
Buy it.
Don't tempt me. Next up, we got a campaign trailer for Battlefield 6. I mean, cool.
I'm happy. Yeah, that's exactly my reaction. I did it completely inoffensive. I think it looks like a quality military first-person shooter campaign.
Whatever that means nowadays, you know. Then this is a surprise, actually, although it's been getting a little bit of flack, I suppose. Deus Ex is getting a remaster.
It's been getting flack, huh?
Yeah, coming from Aspire. You know, it's because there's two remaster studios in the game currently. There's Aspire and there's Night Dive, and everyone's like, Night Dive, they're the good ones. Aspire,
interesting. Okay.
Not so much. Well, Aspire, to give them credit, they've just have a far patchier track record. So, like, Aspire were the ones that did the Battlefront.
I was gonna bring out, they did Battlefront, but they have also done the Tomb Raider collections, right? And those are fine, is my understanding.
So wait and see. You know, we can hope, but that's coming out 5th of February next year. So I mean, it's nice to see it, I suppose, because it shows that the Deus Ex IP isn't like fully dead, which I would have thought before this.
I think my big takeaway from this is I'm not a Deus Ex guy. Like, I do want to go back and give Mankind Divided or Human, I can't remember which one I tried. Like, I tried playing it on my ROG Ally and I thought the gameplay felt a little clunky, like the shooting. So I do want to go back and try it again, maybe with my new PC and like an actual controller and stuff like that. I think the remaster, clearly an improvement on the original. I still think it looks ugly as all hell, personally. But for me, what I'm looking at is Aspire has clearly been relegated to you're the remaster studio, but at least they're making use of a lot of Embracer's IP that they've cultivated and gathered over the years. Like, these things could be sitting there. God knows Xbox has a ton of IP. They're not doing anything with it, right? Like, get Aspire to remaster some of them if you need to. If that's what their primary focus is, like Night Dive, Aspire. Like, I don't see having two studios who do remasters and most of the time are of good quality. I don't think that's a bad thing. So I'm happy for people excited for Deus Ex. Maybe I'll play it eventually. This isn't a PS Plus. It's on the original's on PS Plus, I think, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I know you're excited about this one, Kev. Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Gameplay and release date trailer. Hit me with it.
Listen, everyone, y'all been talking, the internet been talking a lot of crap about this game, all right? I see everyone down it. See everyone saying, oh boy, another 4v1 asymmetrical horror game. Y'all a bunch of haters. Michael freaking Myers, all right? Halloween. Listen, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I reviewed it. Thought it was a pretty good game. Okay. I don't think multiplayer games need to live forever. And that seems to be most people's complaints with this style of game is that they come out, they're alive for a few months, then they start to dwindle down, player base goes down, right? And then eventually after a year they pull the support. And it's usually Gun Interactive doing these things. Ilphonic has a good track record of putting out good games. They've done like Friday the 13th, which I thought was really good. If I play this game and get a good 12 hours, which is basically what I average with these games, I went and looked. I was like, how can I justify this purchase? I get a good 12 hours of fun out of this. That is well worth it for me. Not to mention they have a single player component to this one, which automatically makes me more excited as a huge fan of Halloween, of horror movies. Like, let me play as Michael Myers. Let me go around town and like live out his night or whatever. Do the story of the first game if you want. I don't care what you're doing. Like, just give me a fun experience and I'm in. Like, I don't really care that the character models don't really look all that amazing. The voice acting is kind of cringy, especially the guy pretending to be Loomis. Like, we need to sort that out. But I'm here for it. And this feels to me like the type of game that is probably going to end up on Game Pass at launch or PS Plus because the other ones have. So I don't know. I find this so weird that people are so up in arms about this game.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, Kev, but you've got a long time to wait because it's coming out on the 8th of September next year.
Yeah, it's nonsense. That's utterly ridiculous to announce a release date that far away. So many things could happen between now and then. I'm glad you're calling your shot. I hope you hit that date and I can be playing this in the fall and Halloween time next year. I don't see the point in dating something that far away. I see Nis in the chat. My nephew Luke wants to be Jason for Halloween. Friday the 13th is awesome. I love Friday the 13th as well. I'm a big slasher fan. So I'm here for give me a Nightmare on Elm Street game 2 years.
Don't tempt them. I'll do it.
That'd be so cool. You could play as Freddy and you could like go into people's dreams and like that you could have a Dream Warriors game where they got to fight you off in the dream and you could do a lot of creative things in dream. I think that would be a really cool idea. Miles Dampier, hit me up.
That sounds like Inception. So,
I'm here for it. This one's a good mark. We finally got a good game after Sorrows.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Well, unfortunately, we're bringing it down again. Lost Epoch is coming to PlayStation 5. It's a fantasy action RPG coming along with a first major expansion. No release date.
I believe it's pronounced Epic.
Excellent. Moving on.
Yeah, it's so just one that is like I don't care. It's inoffensive to me. I'm happy other people get to get a PC only game. I believe it's only on PC right now on their console. These action RPGs seem to be making the jump. PlayStation seems to be the home for them right now. I know Path of Exile is an early access on PlayStation 5. I think No Rest for the Wicked said they were going to go to PlayStation 5 first. So it seems to be they're cultivating that player base over there, and I'm happy for you.
Amen. We're going back up, Kev. The 7 Deadly Sins Origin. It's coming January 28th next year.
I can already see the announcement. We've decided to end service on 7 Deadly Sins Origins. This decision was not made lightly. Thank you to all our lovely players, yada, yada, yada. It's a free-to-play game coming from Netmarble, I think, was the publisher or the developer. I know absolutely nothing about them. This anime is popular, but it's like horribly cringy and not very good. Like it goes way off the rails and gets really bad. I'm not here for it. It looks the most generic thing you could do with an anime RPG. Let's make it a open world. We had fishing, crafting, cooking, and we'll just have the characters there while you play as this no name. So Moving on.
Excellent. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds had a trailer showing off the Mega Man DLC. Not for me, but as I was saying, it's clearly going to probably pop off much bigger than I would have ever guessed. So good for them.
I have wishlisted this game and I will maybe hopefully get it at some point. Just so many games out, if I could spend my funds elsewhere, it's really hard to justify this purchase. But like Mario Kart World, I think is good, but did let me down ultimately. I think it's too chaotic, too many racers. This seems to me more like what I'm looking for out of a kart racer, and they're adding a lot of good DLC characters. So maybe this is something I play down the line. I think the Mega Man DLC is awesome.
Neo 3
This is your
coming
bag.
February 6th next year. That did leak ahead of time. Yeah, I'm fully on board. I love both the other Neo games. Brutally hard, as you would expect, but it's nice, I will admit, after some of the deviations Team Ninja has taken over the past couple of years, it is nice to see them go back to Neo, because I think that is their bread and butter. And all the other games that they've done have sort of been like, it's like Neo, but it's not Neo. And that has sort of been the repeated sentiment. So this one is Neo.
Did you play Rise of the Ronin?
I did. I was covering that for IGN.
Did you like it, or was it one? Is it how you just expressed it, where it's not Neo?
I mean, Rise of the Ronin, I think I said at the time, it's like the most 7 out of 10 thing I think I've probably ever played, where it's just, it's like the most
Ringing
bland
endorsement.
milk toast, like generic
Hear me
thing.
out though. Did you play Stranger of Paradise?
I had to kill Chaos, Kev.
Chaos.
It's great.
Did you actually like that one?
Like, I get how cringy it was, but I think by the end of that game, it actually had a fair few really cool things to it. Where ultimately I was like, I enjoyed it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You're not the first person to tell me that.
I know that does put me out on an island a little bit, so like I get it, but
well, I think Neo looks good. Like, it's not my type of game. If it wasn't a Souls game, I would be way more interested. Like, if you make this a character action game, I'd be jumping in. I'd play all 3 of them. I would be in, because like I love the aesthetic, love the art style they're going for. Like, I love everything about it except the Souls gameplay. That's what genuinely keeps me away from Neo. I think I do own Neo 2. I think it was given away like a PS Plus or something. So like I have one if I ever do want to like try it out, because I played Liza P. I liked Liza P. So like there is hope that I could maybe one day play this game and like it. But Neo 3 won't be my jumping in point.
I wouldn't recommend it either, I don't think. But yeah, can't wait. So that's going to be a nice 1-2 punch. Neo 3 February, and then the next month getting Sorrows. That's going to be spicy. Dynasty Warriors 3 is getting a remaster coming out 19th of March next year. Not a big Muso guy.
Title for me again.
Dynasty Warriors 3.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Dynasty.
I love it. I love it. I genuinely didn't know that's how you would say dynasty. I didn't know we said that word differently. That these games aren't for me.
No, neither.
They have a fan base. I don't know why people. It's one of those things, right? Where
the power fantasy I get.
Yeah, but okay, here's the thing though. Like, you see people make fun of Madden and FIFA and Call of Duty players, right? And then every year we get Dynasty Warriors games, and the trailers are just the same. You can hack up 1,000 people, 10,000 people on screen at once. You could do like tornadoes. And I'm like, this looks really cool, but like, I swear to God, you could show me any Dynasty Warrior trailers from the last 6 years and be like, put these in order, and I'd be like, I have no chance, no idea which ones came when.
Yeah, But I assume there is some kind of importance to this third entry. Why they're focusing on it, whether it's one of the more like better received ones or beloved, I'm not sure. But
My nitpick with the third, they're calling it a remaster.
yeah, complete edition
Clearly a
remastered.
remake. Like
It does look more.
they literally say it's built from the ground up.
Yeah,
In their I'm like,
UE5.
yeah, I'm like, that's a remake. If developers can't get this language correct, how are we supposed to get the language correct?
Yeah, I mean, particularly when you look at like the old footage in the trailer and then it cuts to the new footage,
Yeah,
it's
it's like a GBA game.
It's not an up-res. That's like
yeah, that's what a remake. I'm like, we just imagine they were just like, we made it 4K, and then
exactly,
like,
yeah.
okay, how do you explain the character models like changing that?
We're keep going with the bangers, Kev. Code Vein 2 got a release date announcement trailer, 30th of January next year. Day one.
Have you played Code Vein? Because it is a Souls game.
Unfortunately.
You have? Oh, okay. Oh, you didn't like it?
Not really.
Okay. I've also tried to play Code Vein. I was told it had 3-player co-op. What we didn't know when we read that was you can really only do 2-player co-op. The third person kind of can't play the game with you while you do it. So that was a bummer. It was clunky. In terms of the Souls games I have tried, this is probably my least favorite one, where I'm like, it doesn't feel good to play. Like, I like the aesthetic because I'm very into weeby Japanese stuff, and this trailer, you know what I'm so respectfully, you know what I'm saying. But no, if maybe they improve the gameplay. You gotta hope that if they're getting a sequel, clearly it's done well enough. But the first one didn't do it for me, and I think putting it a week before Neo 3 is a choice, and then I think there's just other things around it where I don't know how much this is going to get focused on.
Yeah. Let It Die Inferno got announced.
I thought you were saying let Code Vein 2 die.
I mean, yeah, Let It Die Inferno coming out 3rd of December this year. Follow up to Suda's Let It Die, which I kind of recognized during the stream. It's a Suda game, you know.
The amount of people who I was watching the live reacts and they knew instantly, like, oh, this is a Let It Die sequel. I'm like, I've never even heard of this game. And everyone out here is acting like this is a household battle royale name or something. Like, I don't know where I've been. This completely misses me. I have no context, and I don't personally I'm not here for a PvE game. So
yeah, I should have recognized it because the Grim Reaper skeleton character is from Let It Die, and I should have noted that. I mean, I recognized it was Suda basically straight away, but
I'm much more intrigued by Romeo as a Dead Man. Like that trailer gets me way more interested, and I'm not a Suda 51 guy. Like No More Heroes, excuse me, doesn't really do anything, but like I thought that trailer looked really interesting.
Agreed. Another trailer that looked pretty interesting, Chronoscript: The Endless End, was announced, coming out sometime next year. Very unique. I mean, you said very visually noisy, which I agree with. But and to be fair, let's get the hesitations out of the way. There was some plucky squire stuff where I'm like, oh, don't go too far that way, please.
Sometimes I think about the plucky squire and how
it hurts my soul.
Might be my biggest disappointment of this generation. Like the amount I was hyped for that game, and what it actually turned out to be was so heartbreaking. I think you kind of summed up my thoughts. Was I think artistically the art style beautiful. I do think it does hurt my eyes and get a little busy. You lose track of your character with the environment. Like it almost has too much going on from this trailer. obviously they have time to tone it down, fix lighting, and make things stand out a little more before release. But that is a concern of mine, that they have too much going on for this type of game. Also, just looking back at it in other things, I've noticed the movement looks a little off for like a Metroidvania action platformer type game. Like, it doesn't look as fluid as these types of games preferably are. Now, again, we saw little snippets. This is a 2026 game, still plenty of development time left to go. I'm going to hold off judgment until we actually see more of the game, more of the gameplay in length. Because I do think there is something here that could speak to a lot of people. I think it's a very unique art style, very unique idea. But yeah, horrible name as well. The Endless End. Are we running out of names? Are we running out of names?
I think they're just picking words out of a hat and being like, yeah, those words technically can go together. So that's the title.
The gamey game.
The gamey game.
Yeah.
Crimson Desert coming out 19th of March. I mean, I will reiterate that it still looks incredible, but I am very, very skeptical.
I don't know how to feel about Crimson Dawn, or not Crimson Desert. Crimson Dawn is the faction from Starfield, right? Crimson Desert.
How do you feel about them?
I didn't like the Crimson Dawn, if you must know. I was a cop in Starfield. Crimson Desert, I don't know how to feel about, because I see everyone around me, people I know and trust, their opinions on RPGs, our community members, other people in other podcasting groups, and they're all very high on this game. They're like, it looks really good. It's a game doing everything, right? Like you have flying, you have crafting, you have fishing. The combat apparently is very fighting game-esque instead of like a straight up action RPG, which appeals to me as a fighting game fan. But then I'm looking at it, it's like, I don't like open world games. I think visually this game lets me down in some areas, and that's clearly because they're trying to cram so much in here. Like, fidelity has to suffer at a certain point. I really struggle to believe this game is going to perform well on consoles or anything that isn't a high-end PC, like a 4090, 50. Not like, I can't believe it. Everything they've shown me, it boggles the mind that this game will exist and come out and be as good as everyone hopes it is. So, like, I'm holding out hope. I would not be surprised if the game is delayed. Yep. But we'll see what happens. It's not on the top of my list. I am very skeptical of Crimson Desert.
Time will tell. Time will tell. If they pull it off, I think it could be like something very, very special. But yeah. Unsure. Something else I'm unsure of why they keep doing it in State of Plays. Sony's Pulse Elevate wireless speakers have been announced. They will work with your PC, Mac, PS5, PS Portal. You can sync them to your phone, obviously. Rechargeable battery, launching sometime next year.
Are you in on as the PlayStation guys, the PlayStation hardware guy? You don't have a Portal.
No.
Do you have the Pulse like headset and stuff like that? Or
I've got the Pulse.
That's what I thought you were wearing. Okay, so like you have experienced the Pulse brand. Does this do anything for you?
I can't say that it doesn't do anything for me, but it's about as close to doing nothing for me as it can get. Like, if the reviews for this come out and it's a reasonable price point and the reviews are like, this is great, I could see myself getting it. I have a curved corner desk here. I could my station is, my TV is here with PlayStation and Xbox, and I've got the PC here. So theoretically, and I don't have a good surround sound system or anything installed, so maybe, but it's not something that's like jumping out to me like, this is what I've been looking for, because I haven't really. This has served me well enough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not in the audio space like that, where I'm like I don't have a surround sound. I literally use TV speakers if I'm watching TV. If I'm playing games, I usually have a headset on
Yep.
to hear the game audio. Like that is just how I played games. Not only because like I think it gives a more immersive experience, but also like my fiance doesn't want to like hear the TV if she's doing something, she's trying to watch something. Like I think it's more respectful to have a headset on. So like this isn't really for me, but also I'm hearing people like seeing people on Twitter and then be like, oh, this is probably going to be like maybe $200-$300, and
Mm,
that when I saw these, I was like, oh, these are like what, like what's speakers these days, like 50, $100, and then I'm like,
no
oh, this,
chance.
yeah, apparently not, because I saw some people saying they could even go as high as like $500, because that the Audis company that they acquired a few years ago is really like a lead in the audio space, so like I think that's absurd personally, as someone that could not care less about that type. Like a headset is fine for me, but if there's audiophiles out there that really care about that kind of stuff, like more power to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can attest to the fact that any Sony hardware product that they put out is very good quality in its realm. I think that Sony, as you would expect, being in music and film and whatnot, they are very good with audio,
Mhm.
especially. So I don't doubt that whatever price this comes out at, it will technically, for what you're getting, be worth the price. But yeah, I hope that they don't go as premium as they could
Yeah, I
go.
see Logan in the chat saying $300 to $500 are a good price range for speakers. That boggles my mind. But if that's where the market
For
is for
like
this
good
type of
for
yeah,
good ones, yeah.
and these seemingly like what they're trying to hype you up to believe, they could very well fall within that price range. So
Yeah.
we'll see how they
And
do.
they're portable as well, technically, like because of the
They're ugly
batteries.
as all
So
hell. That's a yeah.
I mean, you
Thought they
know,
were a router.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Kev. But I agree they don't look great. We're not done with hardware though. God of War is getting a limited edition 20th anniversary controller coming out. Pre-orders start on 3rd of October and it's releasing on the 23rd. You said you didn't like it. I don't mind it. I don't think it's great necessarily.
It- It's just a little basic, no? Like
Yeah, I
I
mean, but also, what else are you gonna do? Because you have the Ragnarok dual
I don't
sense.
really like the Ragnarok one
No, I don't
either.
either. For clarity, but like for like a God of War themed one that's celebrating lineage, I guess you could have done maybe like, but then in that would look kind of terrible. Because I was gonna say maybe you could do something like Blades of Chaos
I would have
related with
preferred
like
Blades
the
of Chaos,
Omega
yeah.
symbol or something on the touchpad, maybe.
Like the Omega, yeah, the Omegas, and then like the Blades of Chaos, like on the handles or
Yeah,
something. I think might have looked probably more complicated to get that
yeah,
right, but I just think it's a little basic. I think it's a little boring, and then unfortunately, that I feel that way about a lot of dual sense controllers they've been putting out. I think Astrobot is probably my favorite that they put out, and even that is like it's not the most sophisticated thing. Like genuinely, they're putting like blue and some eyeballs in the middle. Like it is simple, but that one's cute at least and fits the theme. But I've genuinely been disappointed with a lot of PlayStation's controller offerings this generation. I think maybe the my favorite one I've seen is Spider-Man. I think that one
yeah.
is really good. Other than that, kind of Final Fantasy 16, I think is a nice one as well.
Mm,
Other than that, not really doing much for me, especially when you look at Xbox's controllers, which I think tend to be a lot better designed.
yeah. If only had the games to play them with. Thing. But I agree. I think Spider-Man has been the best one. I have the 30th anniversary one, which is
Oh
nice,
yeah,
but that's not
yeah,
really
like
like
no, it's a
game
different
themed.
color, but like I do like that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, Kev, it happened.
Hmm.
It happened. Insomniac stepped out of the shadows once more, the goats that they are. Wolverine coming fall 2026 with additional information, whatever that means, scheduled for the spring. Uh, go for it.
So yeah, I've been waiting for Wolverine. I love Insomniac mainly for Ratchet and Clank. But Insomniac has. I mean, I bought a PS5 for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, so I'm a fan of Insomniac. I think Spider-Man, well, not games that I've played because Spider-Man isn't my favorite superhero. I'm not a big open world guy. Wolverine is a superhero I love. I've loved since I was a kid. And the fact that they're doing a Wolverine game, I've been excited for. We finally get to see it, and it's pretty close to perfect. I don't know what more I could have asked for a reveal trailer. It was visceral. It was bloody as all hell. Some of those kills were exceptionally, oh, maybe a little too bloody. But I think that they have the look right of everything I'm seeing. Like that, we see a Sentinel in the trailer. I think that looks fantastic. We get a little tease at some of the rogues gallery that will, like, Mystique was there, Omega Red was there. Like, they're giving you just enough things as a superhero fan, as a Wolverine fan, to get you excited, to show you, hey, we are gonna respect this character, but also kind of teasing like maybe future where this game could lead, which that remains to be seen, right? But I think the big point that I keep thinking about is Liam McIntyre being revealed to be the voice of Wolverine. And some people will be like, oh, why are you thinking about that one? And that's because I think Liam McIntyre is freaking amazing. I love him as an actor. He absolutely killed the role of Spartacus after he took over. The original actor passed away from cancer. He took over the role, absolutely killed it, stepped into it, made it his own. And then he was obviously JD in Gears 4, which I think he did really well. Gears 5 kind of got sidelined where they made Kate the more of the main character, and then that was a choice, certainly. But he's also been in things like The Flash. He was Weather Wizard in there, so like I'm familiar with him, and I know he has the acting credentials. Everything we've heard from his performance as Wolverine, I think he fits really well with the character, and I'm excited to see his performance. I'm excited to see what he brings to not even Wolverine, but Logan, and get. I'm sure there will be emotional moments in this game for him to deal with. And what excites me a lot, maybe you'll talk about this, Sam, because you were the one that actually brought it up. It seems like it's not an open world game. It seems to be more of a linear game, which really appeals to my sensibilities.
Yeah. I mean, I echo all the same sentiments. I think it looks fantastic. I don't think I ever really doubted Insomniac. I think the concern was that it was MIA for so long, and after the leaks and some of the creative heads left, and you saw some other Marvel games elsewhere being cancelled. I think there was a concern that this one wasn't going quite as smoothly, and I don't think it has, to be fair. But I don't think that if this is anything to be believed, it's diminished what the end product is going to be. I also think that, as you alluded to, and I won't say too much because obviously I looked into all of the leaks, and by all I mean all of the leaks. Assuming nothing has changed or not much has changed, it is a far more scoped game in the sense that it's not, an open world New York like Spider-Man is. You will have some areas, shall we say, that you can have a run around and do some stuff, but it is far more zones and primarily a linear story with lots of set pieces. A lot of people have said, who are kind of in the know, that it is going to be, and this might be a turn off for some people, it's less Spider-Man, more Uncharted, but with Wolverine. And I think that is a relatively safe comparison to make, where Uncharted has lots of set pieces and it's a linear game, but you do have a couple of parts of the game that open up a bit more and you can just have a wander around and explore. I think that is a good touchstone. So can't wait. I'll be interested to see where exactly they talk about stuff, because I said, like, right off the bat, maybe that means a February state of play. And you're like, well, actually, in terms of spring, that would probably be a bit later than that. So I assume that wipes it from Game Awards. So who knows? But at least we know that it is conceivably like at most a year away.
So we got the fall 2026 release date.
Yep.
I'm like September seems plausible. At the late, like fall obviously begins in September. So like the latest we'll have this is November, but they want this for Game Awards, right? They're gonna want the accolades like that. The PlayStation really values those things. So like September, October release date, I think probably the latest we get this game in our hands, which really exciting to me. I will be there day one. I'm sure they will have, you know, a Wolverine console with that yellow, which will look hideous, but people will probably buy it. Maybe a Wolverine controller, which we'll see how they do the art style for that. But I'm
Collector's edition statue. Let's go.
19 inches of Logan.
Oh boy.
Not Logan in the chat, Logan Howlett, Wolverine.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, just for clarify.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Logan in the chat, not 19 inches.
You know that.
Yeah, I don't know
Spits
that.
us.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought thinking about 19 inches Logan. What I was gonna say, all right, is I think that we have a still he says rude. We still have a lot to see from Wolverine. Obviously, we're getting more gameplay in the spring. I think they can go MIA for a while. Like, I don't think we need to see more Game Awards. Just hold this, show us a more in the spring, have a state of play dedicated to it probably towards the end of the summer, right? I think that would probably be the marketing strategy. But I'm really excited. I think what has stuck out to me as someone that saw a few of the leaks, none of the story spoilers, but more of like the initial gameplay snippets, is it is different from what I saw there from like the camera perspective. Like things have certainly changed a little bit. Whether that remains to be seen in everything I saw, we'll have to find out. But I think Insomniac is doing great.
Yep. I think they are just further cementing themselves as the studio above all other studios that are carrying PlayStation on their back.
Yeah,
they have been
Naughty
for
Dog.
Multiple years, but I still think Naughty Dog holds like the prestige title. But in terms of like importance and value to the ecosystem, I think it's undoubtedly Insomniac right now. And I also, I don't want to allude to anything too much, but I think that we haven't had an Insomniac thing for a couple of years now, which is pretty unprecedented over the past decade. I think with Wolverine and then going forwards, we are probably going to get back into a pretty consistent cadence with Insomniac. So
yeah, to end out the generation, we'll have some games, I think.
That's exciting.
It seems that the leaks we all thought one thing wasn't happening. It may very well be happening still if they're still on course here. So guess we'll find out.
Amen. And that's the state of play, everyone.
Well, you forgot to mention that The Last of Us Part 2 is coming to PS Plus.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here.
Kyle says Naughty Dog can hold the prestige. Insomniac will make the fun games.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, I do think that Last of Us is fun, and Uncharted is fun, and Jack and Daxter is fun.
Jack and Daxter. But that's
only the first one, though.
Yeah. What?
I said this in the Discord, Kev. I'm sorry.
You don't like Jack 2 or 3?
No.
I don't even know you anymore.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe this.
Jack and Daxter 1, goated.
Yeah, I agree. Jack and Daxter 1 is my favorite, but I think Jack 2 and Jack 3 are very good games.
Jack X, also pretty good.
Bad game. Awful game. In
pretty
fact.
Good. I like it.
Awful game. All right.
I'm sorry.
What am I going to do with you? Well, why don't we jump into my topic, because it's also breaking down a showcase, and that is the Xbox Tokyo Game Show showcase that they had this morning. I think it was at 6 a.m. Eastern time. I was, as I told you, I was in the middle of my first commute to work for the day. And then I planned to watch it when I got there, and then didn't have my laptop. So I had to turn around, come home, and then drive all the way back. By the time I got there, I had to go to a training. I just didn't have time. So I watched it when I got home, when I was after dinner doing the dishes. I put it on. I do have a breakdown here. Shout out Windows Central. You got the play-by-play. Before we get into the play-by-play, though, you watched it.
I did.
What'd you think?
I don't think it was good. I don't think it was good. I was coming in very hot on Discord. I will admit. I said it was atrocious. I won't use that word, because I know that there are a number of games that are big deals for people coming to the platform. But I think in terms of pacing, in terms of what sort of rumor and leaks were set up, how they've handled things, their communication, it was just not great.
So I made it pretty clear that TGS is not a big show for Xbox. I think people needed to have their expectations in check.
Yeah.
Even with expectations in check, compared to previous years where we've gotten things like the Mana trilogy coming to Game Pass, we got Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear Strive coming over. We've had announcements of Japanese games coming to the platform. I think this was pretty lackluster. I'm gonna be honest. There wasn't much here new, which is often the case. But what was new was strange, and we'll get into that. There was a lack of Game Pass announcements. I think that was a big one where you didn't see anything that was like, oh, we got this developer that we've been, a critically acclaimed Japanese developers now coming over to the platform. Like we were missing those kind of announcements, which is what we've been seeing. And I don't know what happened this year. There was, again, a continued focus on Xbox Play Anywhere, which I think, not surprising. They're really pushing it. But there was also the big omission of the Xbox ROG Ally price pre-order information. That was nowhere to be seen. And actually, it was supposed to go live 9 minutes ago. So let me see. I'm just gonna pull open the internet here and see if yes, U.S. prices are first. I mean, this is the first tweet on my Twitter. So maybe we'll talk about this before we go into the games.
Sure. Hit me with it.
Xbox ROG Ally, the base version, $599.99. The Xbox ROG Ally X, that's the good version.
Hit me with that $1,000.
$999.99. $1,000 after. It's probably gonna be $150-ish more after tax. So more than was the leak date. It does seem they've gotten about a $50 price increase. And I see Logan, thank you for dropping those in the chat as well. Certainly more. We all knew they were going to be expensive. These are even more expensive than we thought. I think that this prices most consumers out unless you are a really diehard enthusiast. But even then, like you can get an ROG Ally X right now for much cheaper than this. And there is a workaround to get the Xbox OS onto that device. So maybe if you're interested, go for that. I just find it hard to believe that a lot of people are going to be dropping this kind of money on this device.
Yeah, I mean, it's 500 for the base and 800 for the X here.
In the UK?
Yeah.
You want to know what Canada is? Which I know Canada obviously is.
Sure.
800 base, 1,300 for the X.
Well, do you want to know what the Australian price is?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
900 for the base, 1,500 for the X.
I know it's all conversion, but
Of course, but
God,
just sticker shock.
yeah, sticker shock for sure. Like, and I see Kyle in the chat saying just buy a PC at that point, which for a few $100 more, you can get the PC I got, which will play games a lot better than this handheld.
Yeah.
One of the portability factor, but you'll have everything else.
I mean, you know, like cooling off from the immediate aftershock of watching the event, because I watched it live. I could sort of make sense in my head given what the prices were seemingly going to be, and now it is. I was like, well, I get why they might not want to like proudly show that off in a presentation, but it's just the handling of it again, it just didn't work for me. That they like talked about it and it's so imminent, but they are now just releasing the info in like blog posts and news articles. It's just, yeah, I'm not I'm not sure I was ever confident about this stuff, Kev, but I'm certainly, if I could get less confident, I just did.
It comes out in like 2 weeks too.
Yep, October 16th.
Yeah, it's wild that they held this. I mean, we all knew it was going to be high when they weren't saying anything, right? But
yeah, and like I understand why. You know, to be fair to them, I get it, but also.
It was funny because I think it was shout out Captain Logan and Luke over at XCP. They had Jesse from Xbox Era on last week, and he was talking about how PCs have an exemption from the tariffs. So I'm really interested to see why these are more than the leaked price. I doubt we'll never even know why the price is seemingly increased, but it is just an interesting point from what we originally thought they were going to be.
Very true.
Because it does seem like a tariff bump, like from first look, $50 tariff bump, like yeah. But I don't, why don't we get back to Xbox Tokyo Game Show?
That's right.
Now that we have that fun little tangent. So they kicked off the show with maybe the strangest announcement I've ever seen. Gungrave Gore Blood Heat. And now you might be wondering, what is Gungrave Gore Blood Heat? Is this a sequel? No. This is a remake of Gungrave Gore, which launched in 2002, being fully reimagined and rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5. It's coming November 12th, 2025 for Xbox Series consoles, PC, and launching day one into Game Pass. I played Gungrave Gore a few years ago, and now I'm just confused because I thought what I played was a remake. What the hell did I play?
I also played that. I didn't finish it, but I played a fair chunk of it not that long ago either. I mean, I can't proclaim to even slightly understand where the IP is at and franchise and whatnot, but
this is a sequel. So the one from 2022 is a sequel to Gungrave from 2002, Gungrave Overdose from 2004, and Gungrave VR from 2017.
Oh.
So this is just a remake of the first one. It looked, I'm going to be honest, looked like more of what 2022 was. Yep. Hopefully it controls a lot better than that game. The fact is that it's on Game Pass makes me more interested in trying it, because like I did have a lot of frustrations with the 2022 game, but I did have some mindless fun. Like it was one of those turn your brains off, shoot things kind of games. So I don't know when I would even try this, but very strange announcement.
Yeah. I mean, I guess again, like you say about TGS not really being like heavy hitter stuff, I guess that kind of fits here, where it's like a weird off the wall thing that you wouldn't have ever expected to see like a bigger showcase of some kind. So I guess some people are excited.
I hope IGN asks you to review it or cover it.
Please. Please no.
Next up, we got Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly. This is also a remake of a 2003 game from the PS2. We saw this, I think, at the Nintendo Direct a few weeks ago. It's coming 2026. Xbox Series X and S coming to Game Pass day one. No exact date. This is one of those things, like, we just saw this a few weeks ago. Feels like you're just letting everyone know, hey, it's also coming. It's also, we got it too, guys. Coming to our platform, Game Pass. Trailer didn't do anything for me. Fatal Frame is one of those series where I see it and I'm like, people must enjoy these because they keep making them. But for the life of me, I don't understand the appeal of, like, just taking pictures of ghosts.
I've had like a weird tangential fascination with Fatal Frame. I played an old one quite a long time ago on PS2. I didn't even buy it, I just borrowed a copy. I kind of get it, but at the same time, I don't know why it's warranting such longevity as a concept, because I'm like, surely you're just, I mean, I guess most games are doing the same thing over and over again if you want to be pedantic, but
It's like Dynasty Warriors.
yeah, exactly. You're just, oh, here's more ghosts to take a picture of. This one's got his mouth open. Excellent. Cool. I'll put it this way. If it reviews well, which I'm not confident on, to be perfectly honest, but if it does, then I could see myself giving it a go.
Kyle says, you have dozens of hours of phasmophobia. You definitely understand the appeal of taking photos of ghosts. That's different. All right. That's completely different. You know, that's for the vibes that hangs with the boys. All right. That's not me being a teenage girl and being like, oh, ghosts coming at me. Click, run away. Click, run away. Like, it's different gameplay, you know?
That's like saying you understand, you've played dozens of hours of Peak, so you understand the appeal of rock climbing. It's like,
I
not
hate rock
really.
climbing. I like
You,
Peak.
like, again, it's the vibes, it's the social element.
Mm-hmm.
Pipe down, Carl.
Next up, Nintendo has a new lawsuit candidate. Animo is an open world action RPG where you can capture creatures called Animo, then either control them directly or fuse with them for combat and exploration. The game is Xbox Play Anywhere. No release date, but you can pre-register now. I think it's a free-to-play game. This is very much another Pal World situation where I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, that's a Pokemon. I've caught him. That, I swear to God, Incineroar is in this trailer, but he's blue instead of red. So there's just a whole bunch of copyright infringement going on here. So if Nintendo went after Pal World, I can't imagine they won't go after this, because this looks also like a blatant ripoff of a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, it worked ultimately for Power World, so I guess they're just running the gambit, seeing if they can make it work for them.
Yeah, we'll see. Especially with that new patent that Nintendo has, they're
Mhm.
suing everybody out here. Next up, Monster Hunter Stories 3 is coming to Xbox. I don't know if we knew that already, but in addition, we're also getting Monster Hunter Stories and Monster Hunter Stories 2 coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series. Those are coming in 2026. Monster Hunter Stories 3 is March 13th, 2026. So just Capcom bringing over a few ports of the Monster Hunter games, right?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that, again, makes sense for this presentation and feels like in this era it's long overdue to make its way to the platform. So this is the sort of stuff
They're also coming to PS5. Just want to make that clear.
that is true. Suck it, Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I just want to, they were Nintendo Switch exclusives and they no longer are.
No, very good to point out.
Yeah. We got a trailer for Dragon Quest 1-2 HD 2D remake coming October 30th, 2025. I will support Xbox Play Anywhere. I I'm the number one Dragon Quest hater. All right. If Square Enix wants to send me a review code, I will gladly put a few hours into this one, like I did Dragon Quest 3, and I will give a review on it. But I have had nothing but bad experiences with Dragon Quest, and I don't see that changing. So
That makes me sad.
They're just like the most like generic, bland JRPGs I've ever played. You know, like there's nothing remarkable about any of the ones I've tried.
I get it. I get it.
Next up is Project Evil Bane. This is a new 4-player co-op action RPG, dark fantasy. It's coming to PC in 2026 and Xbox in 2027 with Xbox Play Anywhere support confirmed. Clearly still very early in development. This did look like I don't know how to describe it. Like this was probably the most interesting thing for me at this showcase. I was like, oh, new game, still early in development. I like the dark fantasy vibes. Little generic, kind of like, oh wow, it's
Sure.
the same fantasy world that we've seen a thousand times. But maybe it pops off. Maybe it's Game Pass. 4-player co-op gets me more intrigued. Like me and the squad can go in there, maybe have some fun, depending on the gameplay loop. Like nothing they showed looked bad, but nothing they showed looked, oh my God, I can't wait to play this either.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those as well where it's like, I'll see you when I see you kind of thing because of how far out it seems.
2027. Why even announce this?
Precisely. I mean, hey, spread the good word, you know?
Yeah.
Get marketing where you
Everybody's
can.
going to be talking about Project Evil Bane.
I know I am.
Ninja Gaiden 4 got a new trailer that showed off the difficulty modes that are available. And dear God, I'm so sick of seeing Ninja Gaiden 4. It's reached the levels where I have Monster Hunter Wilds, Deathloop. Like there's just games that are shown too much. Resident Evil 9 is quickly approaching that as well. All right. This is up there for sure. I'm going to play Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm going to love Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm just so sick of seeing Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah. It looks cool still. But yeah, I think it's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, but did you know it has difficulty options?
Now I do.
Mistfall Hunter, a brand new IP, is a third-person action PvE extraction RPG. Game director HAO introduced the game. Apparently, it's at the betas. The game mixes survival and extraction mechanics with co-op gameplay, supporting up to 4 players as you fight both enemies and rival hunters. It's planned to release 2025 for X. That can't be true. It has to be. That's a typo. 2026. It has to be 2026 for Xbox Series X and PC, because there's no way it's coming out in the next 3 months.
I mean, it visually it didn't look terrible, but like all of the words that you said,
it makes you want to. What was the phrase that we used? Oh my God! For jumping out the window. What was the phrase we used?
What? Hang on, I don't want to misquote it. What's it called? No.
Well, you look that up. I'm just gonna say, like, this did nothing for me. They showed off a lot of artwork. I thought the artwork looked pretty, but in terms of the actual like game, could not care less about what they're showing off here. Another one of those announcements where I'm like, it seemed like you didn't really have that much to show. You probably could have waited to actually show this.
Zonqui.
I'm a Zonqui. I saw out the window. If I got to deal with another PvE extraction game. Terminal Brigade is a free-to-play third-person action rogue. We're just throwing fucking adjectives and things now, all right? Like, sorry for swearing, everyone, but this is reading a press release these days is genuinely painful. I can't believe is a free-to-play third-person action roguelike looter shooter set in a sci-fi world. Not much was shown besides a cinematic. The game's already on PC via Game Pass. It's coming to Xbox consoles in October. I'm about to Zangui myself out the window.
Zonkey.
They said it's coming to Game Pass too, so you probably get some perks if you're a Game Pass and you want to play this free-to-play game. But
good for you.
Yeah. Call of Duty multiplayer. The spotlight was on his Japanese theme multiplayer maps. Black Ops 7 launches November 14th, 2025, coming to Game Pass. I did not remember this game was coming November 14th, 2025. That date, for some reason, seemed like a surprise to me. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure we've known for a while.
Yeah, I think that's been out there. I could be wrong, but hey, don't have to wait very long. So, what's that? A month and a bit?
We're gonna go to quick hits before we get to the showcase ender, because this is kind of like the things that they had in a sizzle reel. We got another look at Project 007 First Light.
Mm-hmm.
IO, stop showing this game. You're also one approaching too many things. This trailer was weird. They're just like, hey, we got an Asian person in it. Essentially, not to be redundant, but that's kind of what the trailer was, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see. Like, I like Gemma Chan as an actress, so like that it's cool. And I was expecting her to be like. I mean, I know we've already seen Moneypenny and stuff technically, but I was expecting like a more prominent character for her to play. But it's just like a regular scientist, unless that is some deep cut character from Bond lore that I don't know about.
I don't know anything about James Bond, so I can't help you there, buddy.
He takes his drink shaken, not stirred.
Yeah. We also got a trailer for Hotel Barcelona, which is launching tomorrow, apparently.
Whoa.
Didn't know that. I haven't heard anything about it. Rhythm Doctor is also coming to Xbox. Again, this trailer was not great. This didn't look very good to me.
I like the concept of the game. I don't know how it's going to be any good in practice.
Sudden Strike 5 continues a long-running World War II strategy series. I genuinely never heard of this.
Nope.
Logan says, how do we know it's not Q? I don't know what that means. Is that a James Bond reference?
Yeah, I mean, Q is part of the ensemble, but at the end of the trailer, didn't it say Gemma Chan as Dr. Erica or something?
It did, yeah.
Which I guess could be like a pseudonym, and then it's going to be revealed that they're Q or somebody else later down the line, but that'd be weird.
Arc System Works showed Double Dragon Revive, which is coming out next month, I believe. That was one of those games they dated a year ago and actually seems to be hitting their release date. So, Halloween, you're in with a good shout. And then we got Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven, Shadow dropped into Game Pass. I didn't know that. I thought it was just coming to Xbox. I don't remember seeing a Game Pass logo for that one, but that's cool. That looks like a good JRPG for people interested. And then Star Sand Island coming February 1st, 2026. And Winterboro, if Nissa's still in the chat here, finally got its release date coming November 12th, 2025. That will be in Game Pass as well. Beautiful art style, little cute, cozy mouse game. I'm sure there will be a lot of excitement in the cozy community for that one. Looks good if you're into that kind of game.
Agreed.
Do I even need to cover this? Fallout 76 showed a bunch of weird stuff. Bruce Lee's coming to. You can assassinate Bruce Lee in World of Assassination in Hitman, and Microsoft Flight Sim got a Japan World update with new Japanese landmarks. Let's jump to the ending. Forza Horizon 6 was officially revealed. It will take place in Japan. It's coming 2026. It will feature iconic backdrops like Mount Fuji. It will support Xbox Play Anywhere, and it is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC on day one, with PS5 at a later date. So this announcement actually leaked about an hour or so before the showcase even went live, because Playground, whoever schedules their social media, must have put it for the wrong time or something, because it just dropped an hour early. I gotta say, might have been the most disappointing trailer I've ever seen. This was contraband levels of trailer announcements where it's just pans across something, gives me a logo, and that's it. Absolutely pointless. I don't understand. Like, you could have just said, I got no additional information that I didn't already know from this. I knew Forza was coming next year. Phil said as much. The leak said it was from Japan. So I guess if you weren't paying attention to those, like, great. But again, the setting isn't really like a oh my god thing for me. So I think the most interesting news for me is that it's not PS5 day and date. But
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of the reveal trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's bad. Because again, it's kind of been an open secret for a long time that Horizon 6 would be set in Japan. And obviously they then leaked it themselves, classic Xbox. But it's not just that. It's like what you said. It's not just that the leak showed that it was real and that it was set in Japan. It was that the leak was like just the entirety of the trailer, and the entirety of the trailer was a pan across some number plates and then looking out at Fuji. It's like awesome. Could have waited, because like if you're gonna show it this early, and this early, you know, relative, because it's only a few months left in 25, fair enough. But if it's gonna be at the Dev Direct next year, which obviously it's going to be, then why not just wait till then and have a massive blowout? Because I don't know what this did other than being like, oh, it's Tokyo Game Show, so we might as well say that we're making a game set in Japan.
It came across as a little pandering to
yeah,
hey guys, we're making a game in Japan as well. Like, maybe will you play our game now? I'm like, I don't know if that does that matter to the Japanese audience. Like, don't get me wrong, Forza Horizon 6 gonna be huge. Forza
yes.
Horizon 5 is massive, has like 40 million plus players lifetime. Sales have been phenomenal across PC, PlayStation. Like, it's gonna be a massive game.
Yep.
I just don't know why we needed this reveal trailer when it doesn't really build excitement. It doesn't do much of anything except confirm what we've already known. If we're looking at the PS5 coming at a later date, I think that's a weird one. I don't know if they're gonna are they gonna follow that strategy for a lot? Like, is that gonna be the continued way they're doing this? Because apart from Doom and Call of Duty, have we seen a day and date simultaneous launch yet since they've started this multi-platform push?
I mean, Reloaded, right, was day and day.
Gear. Well, but Gear, that was more for PS5
sure.
anyway.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Because like Hellblaze come late.
Yeah.
South of Midnight will probably go at some point, right? Like, how long are they going to continue this Xbox first approach? Is this going to be the strategy? Is this working for them somehow? Like, that we don't, because I don't see how it's working. Like, Costco's not selling their consoles anymore. No one's buying their hardware. Game Pass is stagnant. It's not growing. So like, for me, I don't see how keeping it off another platform day and date is helping them in any way. And it could very well just be like, hey, we can't develop for that many platforms at the same time. Xbox, PC are the most important for our base. Totally fine. I would like those answers to know, because it seems to me to make more sense. Capitalize on the excitement, capitalize on the hype, get everything day and date.
Yeah. I mean, like, and the age-old thing of like, well, maybe they're trying to just incentivize people to jump into Game Pass for like a month and then forget about the subscription and just have it continue rolling. Maybe that's still part of their mentality, considering all the different ways that you can access Game Pass now without a console. Maybe that's the case, but particularly with Forza, like I could see them maybe doing the staggered release with their other titles for next year, like Gears or Fable.
I'm gonna say this is Fable staggered as well. Gears
I-
E-Day, which I think a lot of people were expecting day and date.
I mean, I would say the most likely of next year in terms of Gears, Fable, Forza, and Halo, I think Gears is probably the most likely day and date
I agree
still.
with that. Yeah.
Maybe followed up then by Halo. I mean, obviously Forza is last because we know it's not day and date anymore. But then Fable is like the least likely, considering Playgrounds aren't doing day and date for Forza. So you could.
I would. Yeah, I would wager a guess that if they're not doing this one on PS5, Fable's also going to be at a later date. Which
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps Fable.
But specifically with Forza, and specifically with this Forza that's set in Japan, where they are predominantly PlayStation and Nintendo, it seems weird. Now, obviously, like I was saying in Discord, that can give them the second wave of success that a lot of, or a fair number of ports often see. But like, I don't know how good optically that's going to be for Xbox, and I mean this like with love in my heart. It's going to sell far better on PlayStation and or Nintendo when it comes out than it does on Xbox at a staggered release.
I don't think they care about that at all.
I mean, I don't think they do either, but like it is going to be strange that at least at a retail a la carte level, the majority of their revenue from this title is going to come after launch.
Well, if you look at Forza Horizon 5, right? Like what was it, like 2-3 million jumped into the early access period so like they got a lot of revenue from just Xbox PC with that approach. Like this could very well just be like, hey, let's replicate the success we've seen with Forza Horizon 5. Now, obviously, the game has to be as good, and I don't think there's a question of Playground's quality when it comes to that. But it is just a very interesting strategy because I think we've all been sitting here for years now trying to predict, well, everything's going to go day and date at some point, and then we're seeing mixed signals from certain things like Activision, Bethesda, day and day. Xbox Game Studios still hasn't really gotten there, and if you don't count Reloaded, which is more of a port than anything for the Xbox audience, but it's a strange time. Strange time.
I still think that ultimately we probably are going to get to that day and date. It's just that it would appear, at least with Forza and maybe being an indicator of the other games for next year as well, that they are holding on to the staggered release for longer than we might have predicted otherwise.
Certainly possible. Let's yeah, I don't know. Rumor is first half of the year though.
I mean, that would make sense, right? I think that checks out.
That makes me think Fable is second half of the year.
Oh, for sure.
Like Fable is going up against Wolverine in the fall.
Yeah, because I mean, if the 4 hit as they say they're going to hit, I would say like Forza, Gears, Fable, Halo, in that order.
Possibly, yeah. Halo has a history with November, and it's an anniversary, right? So I think that makes a lot of sense. Get it out in that time frame.
Yeah.
Well, that's Tokyo Game Show, everyone, for Xbox. Nothing overly exciting, but it is what it is.
And hey, we have the ROG Ally prices now, so
I can't believe that, man. Like that's crazy. $1,000.
I'm going to pre-order mine right now.
Do it. You won't.
I'd rather Zonqui.
Well, that will do it for the show, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us. We don't have a Patreon topic tonight because none of the patrons wrote in.
Boo.
So, correct that. Write in. We'll do the exclusive episode this weekend with your questions. Write in next week, though. We want to hear from you. We want your topic suggestions. These were obviously the biggest 2 topics of the week. So maybe there wasn't anything else to cover. But thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us. Sam, until next time, where can people find you?
Anywhere and everywhere at Sam Heaney, Heaney.
You can find me at the Muffin Mon everywhere. It's a 107i, 07A. Follow us at Save the Game Media over on Blue Sky to stay up to date with all the latest content. Until next time, we'll see you